what I usually do is open a new as a save as, and that way you got a file that's already made and everything else. But in this case, we have to go back, save it. Again, I use a shortcut, Command S. Now it's a new one. It's already named. So here we have to do save as, and since it's got the name, okay. So it's saved under this title name. Now what I like to do is go in and do a save as again so that you've got a master and then all the changes after. So if you need to delete something, you can always go back to the previous version. But when you open a new page, it didn't save it yet. So you got to be aware of that. Just lactose is a term. Let's say L-A-C. See, now it's remembering the big letters again. See how tricky that is? So we'll do a paste. At least we got the right size. Go back to one letter in. L-A-C, lactose. Go back to that first letter, get rid of it. So now we've got lactose. We're going to copy that. Now another thing you can do, see when I push Control, it gives me the empty arrow. That'll pick single things if you want. So there's the whole word. I can copy that, go down with my pointer, point, new click, paste that, lactose. So let's go in and rearrange those letters. E-O-S-L-A-T-A-L-A-C. There's no C, so there we go. L-A-C-T-O-S-E, lactose. So there's lactose jumbled. Use our pointer. Go over and move it here. So what the kids will do is unscramble it, and then they'll draw a line to it. So we can do that using one of these as an example. Let's say we do lactose, since that's the easy one. We have a galactose, so that'll be harder. So let's take our lactose here, bring it down the bottom. What we want are spaces. So 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space. How many are in there? 3, 6, 7 letters. 5 space 6. Move all that because we want our page divider still. Can't see the green too good there. So when we do this here, we're going to see that lactose, L, A, space C, space T, space O, space S, space E. Okay, so we still got another space here. Now we can highlight these, go to type size and make them bigger if we want. So it looks like they solved it. It's a little bit too big though, huh? So what's nice over here is when you see this window here, get this up here where you can see it. You can pick your text size. So here it's 36. The next size when we used the window at the drop-down menu was 48. So see here we got 48, 36. So we'll say we want something in between there. So we can just type in 36. Let's do 42. Hit enter. Still pretty big. Let's use 32. So now when we look back on our page here, We have lactose, kind of big. What I'd like to do is there a way to underline it. If we go to type, object, edit, somewhere there would be an underline. So if we could underline that. So now your line tool, go to the pen tool here. Click. Now see what it did? It was in some other window, so we had to use our pointer and get out of it. So we point. Now we're free to do what we want. Click our pen tool. It's on a different add a point thing. So we got to right click, hold it down for a second. Go over, change the tool, the pen tool. Now it's regular pen. Hold it down, you got a dot, point it where you want to go. Down below, get out of it. Now it's its own line. Can move all this over a little bit. If you want, with the white tool, empty arrow, you can move it now. So see what's happening when you look here? It's getting a filling in it. So you go over to your tool here and you see, oh, it's got no stroke. Let's give it a stroke, black, and then click on the inside. It's hard to see, and click nothing. Now it's just a line. And get out of it. And that's lactose solved. So again, over here, you might want to put some spaces so it looks like the kids can fill it in. You do what? Space. You gotta hold the shift, I guess. Space, space, underline space, underline space, underline space, underline space, underline space. Grab it, move it so it's all on this side. Make sure you got the right number of letters. 3, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shift 7. Put a space in there. Oh, see that one there. Now what it did, see, it started its own little text box. That's why you use your arrow here. You move it. Now it's out of the way. Delete it. It's the biggest problem. You go to get in here, you think you're clicking your text tool, but it's starting a new box. So that one worked. You click it and you don't know it. Pretty soon you're going to have extra points. So do Command L, see if there's any weirdos. There's one. Go back, declick, highlight it, delete it. So our spaces here, if you want, you can copy them. Nope, see there, it did that box again. So you just got to declick it, highlight it, delete it. Delete it twice to get rid of everything. See, it's acting up here now again. Double click. Okay, so if you click it, so now the text is highlighted with the arrow. Now use the text tool. Go back, highlight it. Now you got it, copy it. Go up to this word. Get into that text box, paste it. You got your spaces. You're still in the same text size. How many more letters do we need? We got 3, 6, 9. We've got 3, 6. So there's 7 space, 8 space, 9 space. Grab all that text, move it over. So you just continue. This is using text. It's so easy now with computers. So I'm going to show you some of the other stuff we've been doing for the coloring book here. We'll go to Open Recent Files. Let's do Coloring Book Card Suits. This was pretty nice. Jump this back a little to give you a bigger view. Get the color window out of here. We need the hand tool to move it all. So this is 2 pages. We haven't finished that page yet. But on this side, it's showing how all the card suits. Diamonds are for carbon. Nitrogen's a club, hearts 2 bonds, little hydrogen's 1. So this is actually for a card game. You see what you can do is, focus in there. You play your cards like they're a protein going along. So if you play a club, a diamond, a heart, you're playing a card. Carbon is a diamond, so you got a carbon to nitrogen, carbon to carbon, or carbon to hydrogen, or carbon to oxygen. So carbon's like a universal one. It can bond with any, play with any player. Oxygen's only going to bond to a carbon. Hydrogen is one that can go to anyone except the oxygen. So I'll move the hand tool here. So you string along your amino acid in the proteins and play your cards right. Shading, did a little shading there. So this is actually a coloring book. So the kids are going to color in the diamond. In this case, will just be reds, red and blacks. The other ones, we got green for oxygen in that. So let's see some of our other files we got here. Recent files, we've got coloring book. Here's our jumble that we did for hydrogen. So see here we've got all the different terms. They're on one page. And then they'll solve the letters. They'll have circles and they'll go in and say like no mystery or chemistry's radical, chemistry's cool. So see, you take words like valence, chemical bond, periodic table. Over here, they're rearranged in a way that they need to dejumble them. So what else do we have here for the coloring book? We've got to connect the dots. We have here neutron bunny connect the dots is a fun one. So see, we can draw it in color. This is what the kids will color in, like the eyes are green. And then we'll go through and we'll put the numbers in for the dots. So they'll color in the neutron and then the protons up quarks. So it's down here. So you've got the up to the D, and then the D does the 2 down quark ears. That's actually called deuterium. Let's see, one more here. So recent files, we did the suits, the sugar terms, the jumbles. Here's one we're doing, coloring book beta decay. No, that one's not done yet. Let's show the coloring book sucrose. So here we were drawing the sugars. So again, it's kind of tedious because I'm going through and we're taking all the color out of my nice colorful drawings. And then we're stuck with this black and white. So I mean, it's really boring, tedious work, but when it gets done, the kids will be coloring glucose, sucrose. We were trying to come up with stuff. How about this? Sucrose sucks. Because sucrose is the kind of sugar that will rot your teeth. So here we're coming up with sucrose sucks. And it actually says suck rose. That's why we were looking at it. We're like, oh. And then glucose, we were figuring the glucose has to stick together in, what is it, myoglobins, I'm thinking of something in your muscles anyway. You need to